guys, welcome to my new filming room. So I know there's not a lot to look at right now because I'm just in the beginning stages of getting my room set up, but I have been working like a crazy person trying to get these things moved out. I did get my husband's camping stuff put away, and therefore that rolled into the snowball effect of organizing our storage in our food storage room. And so we got that organized, and then we moved stuff in there, and then we just got rid of stuff, and we just got a lot of things organized. So that's why my vlog was so short on Sunday, because I had just been working like a crazy person Saturday, couldn't get a lot filmed. And I did just put up my no shaming / bullying. Thank you guys for all your sweet comments. That was a video that I was really hesitant to put up because I like literally was just like, I don't know. When you put up a video that's so personal like that, you just don't ever know quite what the reaction is going to be of people. But you guys were so sweet and kind, so thank you so much. It meant a lot to me, and I'm sorry that so many of you understand what I'm going through, but I'm glad that we can be there for each other. Anyway, so as requested, I'm going to be doing a roundup of all the things I got in my latest e.l.f. haul, and I'm going to tell you guys what I thought of it, just some basic like thoughts and opinions. It's been about a week and a half since I got the items, and it's been about a week since I posted the video because I did film the video a couple days early. So I have had some time to play with them and kind of see what I think about them and all that kind of stuff. And as I started going, I thought, you know, it'd be great to have some dupes. So I started swatching dupes. Oh my gosh, guys, I found so many dupes that I'm like, I have to have a whole separate video. Like by the time I was gonna do lip swatches and review all these things, I was like, this thing is gonna be like half an hour long. So stay tuned for a future video of a bunch of e.l.f. dupes. I think I'm going to do, it's kind of what Emily Noel did e.l.f. dupe it and kind of show different dupes and just show whether they're dupes or not. Let me know what you guys think about the lighting. I've been playing with it. I do have my portrait lens on, so I have my camera farther back so I'm not like so close to the camera, but then I could get a clearer, crisper image versus my other lens. I do have my ring light up, and then I have two, like, not studio lights, but like daylight lamps that are kind of shooting off just to light up the background. Let me know if you guys like the lighting. And if you're wondering what this black thing is behind me, this is actually the futon bed. I actually turned it and I set it up so that I'd have more room to film. Okay, so the first thing I got was the Naked Prism eyeshadow palette. Now, I do have another Prism eyeshadow palette that I already owned, and this is right on with the same kind of quality. Now, I do find that the shadows can be a little bit chunky. Sometimes when they're swatched, like I'll kind of get a little bit of chunk of the shadow, but overall they're really pretty. Now, if you have bigger eyes or a nice big lid, these could be a great one shadow look. But if you're like me and you have more hooded eyes, they might be a little bit too shimmery for you to put all over, but they are very beautiful, and so I do highly recommend this. Now, the next one I got, and I also have a giveaway for this one coming soon, is the Need It Nude. And I did find some dupes in here for some higher end palettes, but the quality is not going to be as good as like Urban Decay or MAC Shadow or anything like that. But if you work with the shadow a little bit more and you layer it, you're definitely going to be able to get a very beautiful look. And I do like that this has a variety of different tones. So you're going to have the matte shades and the shimmer shades. So this is a great universal palette. This is great for somebody who's just starting out because it has pretty much a great variety of colors. I wish there was a blacker black. I wish this black was like a complete black, because these two I think are a little bit close together. But you've got your mid-tone shades for transition increase. You've got some gold shimmer, you've got some light shimmer, and a matte highlight. And a matte highlight is crucial for me. So if this was a black shade, this would be like an all-star drugstore palette for me. I just wish this was a little bit darker, but it's still a great, like, someone who's new to makeup, or if you need a great travel palette, this is really good. And for the price for $10, you guys, you just can't beat it. Alrighty, so next let's talk about the Ambient palette. So this thing is very beautiful, and I've seen a lot of people saying that they didn't really care for it because I just feel like it didn't give a lot of shimmer, and that's exactly why I like this. I actually like to just take my big brush and I just swirl it in all over the colors, and then I almost use it kind of just like a setting powder, and it gives the most luminous, beautiful finish. It just gives like a glow to the skin Now, I wouldn't do this for a long day, like if you're going to work or something, maybe just for a night out or something. I wouldn't wear this for more than 6 hours, because more than 6 hours, it does tend to look a little bit subtly into like pores and stuff, but the immediate finish is so beautiful. So if you're like filming a video, taking pictures, if you're going out just for a few hours, this is beautiful. And I just like to mix all the colors together, and I feel like it gives a really flattering look. But you could go in individually and use these as like a very subtle highlight or kind of under the eye highlight. But I don't find it's too shimmery, just to do a nice sweeping, just like you would for a strobing effect or anything. Now, I don't go through and do it all over my face, just mostly like here, tops of the cheeks, maybe down the nose, just a little. This is the kind of shimmer I feel like I can wear on my nose, because it's not like a glistening, you know, right in your face highlight. So this is really beautiful, and I really like this. Okay. Guys, I am so excited about this foundation. I have really been liking this. This is the e.l.f. Acne Fighting Foundation. This is in the color Ivory, and this is a great match for me. It's what I'm wearing today. The only thing I will say about this is if you have dry skin, I did have a few tiny breakouts here, and I put a mask on them earlier today, and then I found that it did get a little clingy to some of the dry skin that was right here, but overall, this finish was really nice. I've had this on for most of the day, and it lasted really well. I did use a primer with it, but I'm really liking it. I do feel like it has just that tinge of acne fighting. I don't know if it's just my skincare routine or this combined, but I feel like, you know, my skin's been really smooth. I feel like it definitely isn't contributing to breakouts. So this is A+ for me. I definitely think I will keep using this. And it's not quite as long wearing as my Infallible, but it's a little lighter coverage. So I wouldn't recommend it if you have really dry skin, but if you have normal combination, I don't know how it does if you have really oily skin, just because my skin isn't really oily. But I think for normal combo, maybe a little dry, but just not flaky. If you've got flakes, I wouldn't recommend it. But other than that, it is good. And like I said, it does have more of a medium coverage. So I definitely think it's enough to give me all the coverage that I need. It just doesn't feel heavy on the skin. Like, it's really light. So I do really like this. All right, the HD Lifting Concealer. My only beef with this was that it just seemed like it was running out. You can kind of see right there that it's already feeling like it's kind of empty inside. I really like this, and I feel like the yellow tone does do a good job of canceling out and concealing the redness. And I do feel like it's a very dry formula. Like, you can see, it does give really good coverage. It's a dry formula in the fact that you need to like put it on and blend it quick, and it completely mattifies. So it is not creamy, it's not like creasy. So it's definitely not moisturizing. So if you have dry under eyes, this probably wouldn't be a great thing. I haven't noticed that it accentuates any of the lines under my eyes or anything like that, but it definitely dries to a matte finish. So I just kind of dotted it down my nose, dot a couple on my cheeks and my eye, and then just kind of rubbed it in, and then it just seemed to like set. So, and I use this underneath my foundation, and it seemed to work really good. Okay, this little puppy. This is the e.l.f. Makeup Lock and Seal, and it came with this little like dappen dish, if that's a nail term, but it is like a little dish that holds liquid. And for some reason, when I was moving everything around, I must have misplaced it. But this stuff, it comes with like a little dropper, and then what I can do is if I'm using the little dappen dish, then I would just like drop it in, or you could just get like an extra cap and just drop it in. And you can use this two ways. One is you can dip your brush in there before and then like foil. So let me use the Knead It Nude palette, and I will give you a little demo. I'll take one of the shades, and so you can see how much more intense it is when you use it wet. It does really intensify the shadows, just like any kind of setting spray is going to do. But the nice thing I liked about this is when I use the Makeup Mist and Set, or even my Dewy NYX Finishing Spray, when I use it to foil pigments, it almost like gives my eyes this like minty feeling, like kind of a cooling effect. And I think that's because it's really not made to do that in like such concentration. With this, I don't feel any effects. Like, it doesn't feel stingy, it doesn't feel burny, it doesn't feel watery, it doesn't feel drippy. Like, it really is a good thing to use to foil pigments. or for loose pigments it works as well. So the other thing I wanted to test it for was to see if I used it with a shadow that would normally crease with my hooded eyes, if I could put it on over my eyeshadow to seal it in. So the verdict is it's not 100% foolproof, but it does help. So I did find that I've had this eye look on all day, and what I did for this eye look is I actually used this waterproof shadow liner, and I smudged it on my lash line and did a little bit of a wing, and then I went over it with the long lasting eyeshadow base in this gray color, and I put that so it just kind of had a sparkly eye effect. And what I found is, so I put that on and then I put a little bit of the mist and set, or what is this called? I put the Lock and Seal over it, and then I had to let my eyes dry. Now if I didn't let it dry all the way, one of my sides did get a little bit of transferring because I didn't let it dry. But if you let it dry, it does help keep it down, but I didn't feel like it really did a good job of keeping the glitter in. So I'll get up close so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So when I close my eyes, you can see that it really didn't transfer that dark onto my hood, where normally I would have, you know, the dark kind of coming up there. But if you can see, like under my eyes, I have a lot of like little glitter fallout. So it did help with the transferring, but it's not a glitter glue. If you're using products that are really shimmery or that have a lot of like glitter in them, then I probably would suggest using more of a glitter glue. But this does help with transferring. Now, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be 100% foolproof, especially if you have really oily lids. My lids are only semi-oily, so there's some things that aren't gonna crease on me that are gonna crease on other people. But I do still think it's worth it, especially for the price, because what I literally did is I did my eye look and then I just took a brush and I just patted it over my whole eye look, and I didn't feel like it changed the texture, it didn't make it look blotchy or patchy. And so it really did what I wanted it to, and it worked good and it was cheap. This e.l.f. Eyelid Primer Shadow Lock, I don't know if I meant to order this. It says that I did. I thought that I was getting the sheer one, but apparently I picked Pearl, and Pearl is another name for glitter balm. So I don't really see myself using this much. It's got a white base, which is okay, but when you shear it out, you're just left with a lot of sparkle. So, I mean, you can see like on my finger, you see all those little glitters on there. So the only time I can see myself using this is as if I was using like a ColourPop shadow, something that had a lot of shimmer in it, because I definitely wouldn't want to pair this with like a matte eyeshadow look. It just wouldn't make sense. So I'll stick to my regular one. But if you like a lot of shimmery colors, I mean, it worked just fine. It's just I didn't really like the shimmer in it. So my eyeshadow base in Wine Not, I liked this. It's creamy. It has a nice, like, it's more of a taupey plum color. It's definitely not as red as like the Pomegranate Punk Color Tattoo. I was thinking it was going to be more of a burgundy shade, but it really is like a purpley taupe. And honestly, this matches. Okay, I had to swatch it for you to find which one it is. But this is the Why Not. This is Cricket from ColourPop. This is 3. You can see it's kind of similar to that. Kind of similar. This one is a little bit darker, has a little bit more plum to it, but that's kind of the overall feeling, is more of a dusty plum taupe than more of a burgundy shade. But it is still very pretty, has the same formula as the rest of the smudge pots. Typically you're using your finger to get the product out. So then what happens to the jar? Look at both of these jars. They are a hot mess because I open them up, I dig my finger in it, I wipe it on my lid, then I close the jar. So now they're all dirty. So that's my only complaint, is the white lid probably. Last but not least, let's get on to all of my lip balm, kiss balms. So first, before I do all the swatches, let me go over some of my general thoughts on the product. So I felt like these were a tad bit drier than the lip butters. And I don't mean like they were matte, but I felt like the lip butters have a lot more like sheen to them, the ones from Revlon. And they weren't quite as sheer as like Maybelline Baby Lips type of thing. They're kind of in between, but they're more pigmented like the lip butters. So I felt like these were very comfortable on the lips. They were moisturizing, but like, you know how lip butters are almost like slippery? They weren't really slippery, but they gave a nice like feeling. They're not sticky at all. They have no stick to them, but they feel comfortable. They don't feel heavy. Like you don't feel like I'm wearing something on my lips and I can tell. They're just a great like everyday kind of balm. But I would say that they have a satin finish. They don't necessarily have like a gloss finish. And one thing that I was surprised to see is that some of them have just a satin finish and some of them actually have shimmer in them. The shimmer ones are not my favorite. The shimmer isn't very finely milled and it kind of feels a little gritty on my lips. So those ones I would probably pass on personally, but the rest of them I think were awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start from lightest to darkest and I will just do some swatches for you guys. So the first one is the one I'm wearing right now. This is called Bear Kiss. This is a great color for somebody who doesn't want to commit to a lot of color on the lips, doesn't want something that has to be high maintenance. This one is that creamy formula, doesn't have any shimmer in it, and overall I just think it's a great Your Lips But Better wearable color. All right, the next one looks like it should be quite a bit darker than it is. This is actually called Smoochly Spice, and I actually was a little bit surprised how sheer it seemed, and it was similar enough to the Bear Kiss that I think that this is one that unless you were in love with this exact shade, I think that it would be one that you could easily pass on. On the lips, I just didn't feel like there was that big a difference to really need both of these, considering how different they look in the tube. I just think they just don't have enough pigment in this one to really make it that different. Okay, this next one is called Pouty Raspberry. This one to me has probably one of the most creamy formulas. Feels really nice on the lips. I really like the feeling of it overall. And it does have that nice sheer red tone, so it's like, it gives you that red look, but it's not like pow in your face. I think it's a great wearable red for somebody who's maybe a little scared to try red, but wants to kind of venture into it. I think this is a really nice color and it's super comfortable. I didn't find that it like transfers or moves all over. It's not so sticky, gooey that it's just like moving all over. So this is a great choice. I really like this one. This next one is called Flirty and Perky Pink. This is your straight up Barbie pink. This one also has that really smooth, nice moisturizing formula. I like that this gives you that hot pink look, but because it has the sheerness of a balm, it's not so in your face, not so high maintenance as a really bright pink can be. But I think this is a beautiful spring color. Okay, next is one of the shimmery ones. This is in Pucker Pink. And this one has a touch more coral in it. Although it has that same creamy base, it just has that shimmer in it where I can feel it when I move my lips, and I just don't like feeling that at all. If you like the Too Faced Melted Metals, this will give you that similar effect. I haven't tried those personally, but it does kind of give you that nice lip plumping effect because the little shimmer particles pick up the light, and you can see it really looks nice on my bottom lip. It's just not my personal favorite feeling to have a little bit of grip to it, but if that didn't bother you, it's a really beautiful color. Next is another shimmer. This is the color Kissing Coral, and this is straight up orange. Same thing as the last one, it has a very beautiful color. It's just the texture, if that's gonna be an issue for you, but overall, I really like the color of it. I think orange is a fun, like, you don't expect it every day, but it's actually, I think, flattering and is really fun to wear. This one is the red from the bunch. This is XO Red. And this you can get some nice full-on red pigment from. But I feel like I still don't have to be committed to a lip liner and high maintenance red. It's really nice and wearable. I can still just apply it from the tube and not have a big issue there. But this is great. Do a little wing liner and pop this on the lips and you're ready to go. The last color is called Berry Sweet. Sorry, my lip line's getting a little messy from all the colors. So this is just a little bit deeper red. It's not quite as berry as it looks. Like you think that it would be really plummy in the tube, and it actually comes out more red than you'd think. But it's still a very beautiful red, and it does have more of those berry tones compared to where this has more of that bright, almost orangey red tone. You can see the difference there. So overall, I think pretty much everything I got was a hit. I did forget one last thing. the eyebrow gel. And somehow I don't know what the heck I do with things. Alrighty, so the last thing was the brow gel, and I was going to show you guys, but apparently I misplaced it. I don't know what happened to it. I might have left it upstairs. Anyway, the eyebrow cream is a lot more creamy, and it is not as waxy as the original eyebrow kit. So if you like this waxiness, I would stick with this. That is a lot more fluid and creamy. But overall, I really like the color. It's what I've got on today, and I feel like it's really natural looking. So thumbs up there. I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope this was helpful for you. And if you have any more requests for my Vlogmas, let me know. Thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate you more than you know. Love you so much. Bye.